Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So we're now at round 11 of Super Rugby. So I'm just going to do the preview for these for the weekend games. As you can see, I'm wearing my nice Bulls jersey, my Lions cap. But let me go through the games for the weekend, and then and just give me my predictions for the weekend's games. Yeah. So the first game of the weekend, we got the Crusaders versus the Lions. I know the Lions had a great upset last week by beating the Chiefs. But a bit of skullduggery that they did, reading up that, they said that Malcolm Marx was going to be playing on the bench, and then they changed everything just before the match. And it sounded like it was actually a ploy to do that. And that just seems a little bit underhanded. I know it's not against the rules, but it just, you know what they're saying, it's just not cricket. And yeah, it just seems a tad unfair and yeah, just a little bit underhanded. So not the greatest, not that great. I think the Lions are missing two of their coaches. So, normally we talk about players being injured and stuff like that. Now we're actually talking about the head coach has got a bit of stress. So, yeah, it's quite a pressure kind of position, especially the Lions have been a good performing team for the last couple of years, and taking over that position from the previous coach. I think he is under a lot of pressure to perform. But yeah, Crusaders also missing a few of their All Blacks. They aren't playing, but still, I still see the Crusaders winning this game fairly comfortably. The Crusaders are the informed team this year. I don't see the Lions having an upset this week. If they do, bloody hell, I'll eat a habanero. So I don't want to eat a habanero, but if they do, I'll eat a habanero. And so I've put the Crusaders to win by 13 points. Next game of the weekend, we've got the Sunwolves versus the Highlanders playing. I think they're playing in Tokyo. The Highlanders, it's a must-win game for the Highlanders. I know they won last week, but they really, if they need to catch up to the Hurricanes and overtake the Blues, they're going to have to win this game this weekend. I still think it's going to be fairly close. I think the Sunwolves have scared a lot of teams. They've beaten some really good teams. So yeah, I've put the Highlanders to win by 3. But yeah, I think it's a game that could go either way. But yeah, it's a must-win game for the Highlanders, and yeah. Next game of the weekend, which has got obviously a great derby. It's got the Hurricanes versus the Chiefs, playing in Wellington. It is Wellington, yeah. The Cake Bowl, Caketon. I've put the Hurricanes to win by 8. I think it's going to be a classic New Zealand derby. I think it's going to be excellent rugby. But yeah, I just think Chiefs without Damien McKenzie they're not the same side. They don't have the amount of playmakers. Even if Brody Retallick's back, they just don't have the same firepower in their back row. Yes, they've got Anton Leonard-Brown and they've got some great players, but yeah, the Hurricanes backline, Lamapi, TJ Perenara, Bowden Barrett, Geordie Barrett if he's fit. If he's playing, there's just so much firepower on that field that I just don't see the Chiefs winning that game, and I've put the Hurricanes to win by 8. Next game of the weekend, we've got the Waratahs versus the Sharks. Sharks have been a very, very disappointing team this year for me. They're just not playing up to the kind of performance that they should be playing at. A lot of vloggers out there have been talking about, that the South African sides are just, everything's 50-50. You just never know what's going to happen. I had said I was going to use a coin toss for this game, but for this week. But I've actually thought, you know what, I don't think the Sharks are going to win away from home. I know they're generally a better touring side of all the South African sides, but yeah, I just don't see them winning. I put the Waratahs to win by 4. Next game of the weekend, my pick of the week for me, we've got the Stormers versus the Bulls playing at Newlands. Stormers, another side that they've got so much firepower up front. They've got ball players all over the field, and it just doesn't seem to be clicking at all. There's been a lot of talk about the coaching levels in South Africa. I think we've got a great Springbok coach. I'm just trying to think of the next level down. Do we have the Springbok, the Super Rugby coaches that can actually compete at this level? I'm a big believer in you have your, just like some players can step up from Currie Cup to Super Rugby, or some players can pick from Super Sport Challenge up to Currie Cup up to Super Rugby, you know, just some players can't do it. I just don't. I think some coaches can't do it either. And yeah, there's something fundamentally wrong somewhere along the line. Because if I look at our schoolboy rugby, under 21s, you know, under 21s are always either in the final or they make the semi-finals of the world championships or the World Cup. And our schoolboy rugby is some of the best rugby in the world, and we get to the next level up and it just, the wheels come off, and it's just like our coaches can't seem to take him from a well-coached, naturally talented player up to the next level, and that's a little bit of a problem. But I've still put the Bulls to win by 5. I think it's going to be another classic derby. I know I'm not even thinking about this game where we won 40-3. I think it's going to be a tough game. Yeah. So I put the Bulls to win by 5. Dwayne Vermeulen's back. Schalk Brits is still banned at the moment, but I think he comes back next week. So just in time for the touring and all of that. But yeah, I just think the Bulls way too much firepower. Other news, obviously, Loet de Jager now is going to Sale Sharks. Just seems like it's another great Springbok rugby player going to play overseas. Good on him. You know, he'll always be a member of the Springbok side. So yeah, if he's going to make whatever he's going to make overseas, it's like a no-brainer. Then the last game of the weekend, we've got the Jaguares versus the Brumbies playing in Argentina. I put the Jaguares to win by 13. I haven't been super impressed with the Brumbies side this year, and I think the Jaguares, when they're on a roll, they literally can put on 3-4 tries in the space of 5 minutes. We saw that against the Sharks. We've seen them against quite a few sides this year. And so, yeah, I've put the Jaguares by 13. But my games for the weekend, if the Lions played the same way they did last week, I think the Crusaders Lions game would be highly entertaining, but I think it's going to be fairly one-sided, especially where they don't have coaching. Then the Hurricane Chiefs game is going to be a classic derby, and then the other game for me is going to be the Stormers Bulls. Listen, guys, put down your predictions down below of what you think the scores are going to be for the weekend. And what games are you looking forward to? Now, I've given you my 3 that I'm looking forward to, but what games are you looking forward to? But listen, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.